All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys had a a good weekend. We are here today. Gold running up on fears. Bitcoin all the way back down here. We got the SPY falling down pretty significantly here. Big drops. Most of the markets are reacting. Gold running up. Tariff news. After recent tariff announcement by the current administration, Canada and Mexico both retaliated with their own, while China responded more cautiously. This news is tanking markets this morning in pre-markets. So Canada and Mexico announcing levies on the U.S. goods. So China's Ministry of Commerce did not announce specific tariffs in response on Sunday, stating only that it would take, quote, corresponding countermeasures to firmly safeguard its rights and interests. The ministry also said it would challenge the tariffs at the WTO, World Trade Organization, a largely symbolic measure since its appellate body has been non-functioning since late 2019. But yeah, this move is making people panic. Markets are down. Ugh. As the market continue dropping this week. Yes or no? Market is down this morning. There's the SPY. We'll put the Q up. There's gold. Crypto down big. So yeah, we're kind of right back where we were after the EverSeek, DeepSeek news. Vote on the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it, though, is that the U.S. isn't really known to be like a worldwide, like we're not really shipping our products overseas that much, or to other countries. Like maybe in like Canada and Mexico, somewhat, sure, but like generally we import much more goods than we export. We haven't been like a big manufacturing hub in a while. When you look at the data behind it, and so you know. It's not good, of course. Yeah, you know, again, remember, like, I lightened up on my portfolio not that long ago. And so a little bit of confirmation bias is like, I don't mind if the market corrects because it does prove that thesis correct. But I don't know. I don't generally want the market to go down necessarily. But yeah, today we got, it's a busy week though, man. We really do have like a lot of stuff going on. Like we've got ISM manufacturing data this week, the JOLTS job report tomorrow, ADP non-farm employment change, ISM services, jobless claims numbers, non-farm productivity, unemployment data, non-farm payroll data, consumer sentiment data. Next week we got CPI data as well. We got PPI data on Thursday. Next week, Friday, we got retail sales data. So, honestly, it's a pretty busy week. Honestly, we got some earnings coming out, too. I don't think... Like, today we have Palantir earnings in the evening. Tomorrow, we've got, like, PayPal, Spotify, Pepsi, Pfizer, Ferrari, Merck, Estee Lauder, and more. Tuesday, we are going to have to stream. Because Tuesday, we have AMD Google earnings. So we'll stream that for sure. I don't know which one to stream, AMD or Google, but we'll figure it out. Let me see. Google's more established, AMD's more hype. AMD's call is going to be Yeah, so the web class is going to be at 5, I think. And what time is Google? Alright, I gotta get that out of here. But yeah, let me see when Google's earnings call is. Okay, good. Yeah, so Google's gonna be on 4:30. Okay, so we'll cover Google then. AMD, maybe we can cover both, but did anyone know? ARM earnings. Yeah, so we got all that stuff this week. AMD, Google, Snapchat is gonna be tomorrow. Still kind of earnings season. Wednesday we got like Uber, Disney, a couple other ones. Wednesday we got ARM. ARM's not quite big enough to cover, I think, to be honest. Like, not to stream the earnings call, that is. We got Roblox, Eli Lilly, Peloton on Thursday morning. Thursday evening, we got Amazon. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be streaming earnings all week then. I didn't know. All right, well, another busy earnings season week for me, guys. It's all right. It's good for the channel. We grow fast when we do it, so it's all good. And then we're going to be on Top Step TV. Oh, actually, we're going to be on Wednesday. So Wednesday, which is good because that means we don't have to cover anything that day. Yeah, Wednesday is just ARM, so Alright, that's fine. Yeah, big tariffs, guys. Big tariffs, man. The tariff reaction is going to be in the front of the market. Everybody's paying attention to it. We had duties on 3 different countries. They'll be fully enforced by tomorrow, according to the order signed Saturday afternoon. Economists argue that the tariffs could stroke inflation. And we'll see. Again, we'll see. Looking at our poll numbers, we asked people, does the market continue dropping for the rest of the week? 60% say yes, 40% say no. What's up, Fabio? Steve? Yeah, I mean, I can't really say I agree with the tariffs necessarily. Like, I think it's gonna have effects on markets for sure. You know, his justification, I could kind of understand it, where if, like they said, it was because of drugs being shipped over the borders that they're not doing a good enough job, like policing, basically, is like what they said. And so it's a consequence to that, but I don't think you should tank the market just to punish somebody. I think, yeah, I just disagree with it, to be honest. But, you know, again, his last run, he was very critical and very, like, his last run, if you guys remember back in 2016, he like basically had a trade battle with tariffs to China specifically. Like, it wasn't so much Mexico and Canada, but he had this big battle with China in terms of tariffs, and that it was tanking the market in a very similar way in his first tenure, you know. And so yeah, I mean, it's not really a shock that he's doing it now again too. see. I could look. Yeah, so far, as of now, there's no scheduled meetings between them and the leaders before the tariffs take effect tomorrow. He has indicated plans to discuss with the Prime Minister Trudeau and President Sheinbaum. So again, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that Canada would respond with 25% tariffs against the $155 billion worth of American goods. These developments have heightened tension among the three, with potential implications for trade relations and economic condition downfall. So yeah, I don't see any set meetings between them yet. Now maybe the rumor mill's going with that. I'm not sure, but I don't see any set scheduled meetings or anything like that. Yeah, but I mean, Care Bear, at the same time, though, like, you're bringing up something that happened 40, 50 years ago, you know? And so, like, every country has been imperfect in that regard, you know what I mean? I think you got to take more recent history into it. Oops. I think you got to take more recent history into it. But, and so I guess the point is, I don't know if that's such a big counter to that. I think that's old. Different administrations, different presidencies, different all that stuff, you know. And I'm honestly, I think one of the biggest dangers as a parent is, I don't want to say it, but is that drug. That drug is super, super dangerous. It's super scary as a parent. It's much worse than it was even when I was young, when I was a teenager. The dangers now versus that were there back then are 20-30x, to be honest, unfortunately. And so I think we should be really harsh on those drugs, to be honest, because those are hyper dangerous, man. Yeah, no, I don't know if it's a lie or not. Again, I really don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know. Am I still red? Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, so again, gold, obviously in the economic uncertainty market that we have today, gold running up big. Where's lifetime highs on gold? All right, we're at 2840s. Lifetime highs are at 2860s, so we're within the realm of lifetime highs here on gold. Obviously, the NASDAQ has gotten bumped all the way back down on this tariff news that was announced. Really, Saturday is when the announcement happened. We're back down to where we were with the EverSeek news, or the DeepSeek, I mean. And so we're basically right back where we were. Market is a little tumultuous right now. We're kind of flat, down big on, you know, but we did rebound enough, I would say. Like we dropped a lot and gap down here. This is a gap. So we gap down pretty big here. Here's the gap down. And now we're right here. So we did rebound a little bit back up from it. We'll see what the market does for the rest of the day. It should be an interesting market. We got ISM manufacturing data coming out as well. Yeah, I mean, somebody saying I thought we were tanking because of the inverted yield curve, not because of the tariffs. No, it's definitely the tariffs today. I mean, from my understanding, it's the tariffs. Everybody I talked to today, which is multiple different people, said market's down on tariff news. Inverted yield curve, I mean, you know, just to put this into perspective, what we mean by inverted yield curve is that generally, in terms of like basic logic of bonds, in terms of basic logic of bonds, long-term bonds are supposed to pay out a larger interest rate, a larger yield than short-term bonds, because short-term bonds, you got to hold them for less time, and so innately they're less risky. Now, when that yield curve inverts, meaning short-term bonds are paying out a greater yield, a higher interest rate than long-term bonds, that's what's called a yield curve inversion. I believe the two they use is the 10 and the 2, but it might be different ones. I'm not sure. But that is the yield curve inversion that they're mentioning. Now, historically, it has kind of been an indicator or a signal of a turn in the economy, but it's certainly never, it hasn't been 100% accurate. Like the yield curve inverted for a couple different times over the last few years, and it wasn't followed by economic weakness, not a major economic weakness at least. And so, you know, I disagree, Jonathan. I think it's much more. I think the danger is that it's okay. There's a vast difference in terms of the strength of it versus anything else, right? I'm not going to go deep or start mentioning names or anything like that, but like, there's a difference in the toxicity amount. You know, like it's dangerous to a certain extent just to touch it, and that's a different thing, man. That's a different thing. And so dealers are not very well known for their accuracy in terms of cutting things and whatever they do, right? They're not the smartest group, to be honest. They're just not. And they're certainly not going to be the most consistent group in terms of cutting things. And so, yeah, I mean, sure, it's safe if you get it from, mostly safe if you get it from licensed, regulated places, but there's a difference between it and everything else in terms of its toxicity, and that's where it becomes very, very, very dangerous. And I think it's very obvious, right? I think this is very clear. Is the music too loud? Oh, the music's up 100%. My bad, guys. I don't know why it's up that much. Here, hold on. There we go. Let me know if that's better. This is where the music's supposed to be. Sorry if it's too loud. The potency, 100%, exactly. That's I was trying to think of the word. Potency is a great word for this. The potency is too strong. It's way too strong. It's way too dangerous in that regard. Like other drugs, they have illegal criminal activity going on around these other drugs, and like, yeah, like you're gonna have some deaths from it, but it's not nearly gonna be the dangers that come from that getting on the streets because of the potency of it. And I think this is very obvious, you know. Yeah. Yeah, Adesanya, bro. Adesanya's chin's gone. Adesanya's chin's gone, Ali. You know. He's too chinny, bro. And what happened with Adesanya is this is what happened, right? So, Adesanya, he likes to switch stances a lot, okay? One of the tapes that people have on Adesanya at this point, like his opponents obviously study these tapes, you can tell when they fight him, is that when he switches stances, if he does so lazily, if he switches stances lazily and he's not quick with it and he doesn't put his hands up after he switches stances, his opponents hit him with a very easy jab cross combination, right? Or overhand or whatever they want to jab, whatever. Because for a period of time after he switches stances, he's vulnerable. And he's been like this. This is what happened with him in Strickland, is that he switches stances, he's vulnerable, and he gets caught. And at this point, his opponents just study his tape and they see the same thing. And that's exactly what happened. If you rewatch the fight-ending punch, the one that knocked him down, it's when he switched stances and he kept his hands down, and he was way too close to his opponent to switch stances lazily, and he did, and his opponent just kind of jab straightened him. I think it was a jab straight. It might have been a jab overhand. But yeah, and then it caught him, knocked him down, and that was it. But either way, his chin's going. His chin's going for sure. Yeah, I mean, it happens to all the greats, man. It really does. It happens to all the greats. Your chin goes after a certain point. He did his thing, man. He was definitely one of the greatest middleweights of all time, and, you know, age catches up to all of us. Yeah, it is what it is, you know. I feel for him. I feel bad for him. Honestly, I think the stoppage was a little bit early, too. I wasn't necessarily rooting for Izzy, but I think the stoppage was a little early. Like, I think he could have let him fight a little bit longer. He popped right back up afterwards. Like, it was a little early. Palantir earnings are today, guys, so I forgot about this. Palantir earnings, they dropped today. Yeah. Yeah, this is big news in the markets, man. We got ISM manufacturing PMI coming out too later. Yeah, I felt bad for Carol last night because Carol was having trouble sleeping, man. She had insomnia. How bad our futures looking this morning. So again, guys, so Saturday, the current president announced tariffs. Or no, I'm sorry. Saturday, Canada and Mexico responded to the current administration's tariffs. Now, Canada and Mexico retaliated with their own levies and tariffs on U.S. goods. I know Canada is doing a 25% tariff on U.S. goods, meaning you're going to have to pay 25% more for U.S. goods in Canada now, which is going to discourage buying U.S. goods. It's going to make them distinctly disadvantaged when people will try to buy stuff. China hasn't really responded. China basically said that they're going to respond, but they weren't specific. They weren't any specifics with what they said they were going to do. Right. But anyways, they announced this on Saturday. Right. So market opened up yesterday, pretty red. You can kind of see the big drops. Here's the NASDAQ gapping down. Here's the SPY gapping down. Most big U.S. stocks are down this morning on this news. Yeah, Carol just has, you know, and I've noticed a couple things about me. Like, if I'm really stressed about something and I wake up in the middle of the night, if I immediately wake up and think about whatever my stressor is, sometimes I can't go back to sleep. I think it causes an adrenaline spike is what it does. Like, I can feel the adrenaline spike, and then I'm just sitting there staring at the clock. And I think Carol's the same way. I think Carol has trouble sleeping, can't sleep, you know. Yeah, I feel for her. So I'm trying to let her sleep. I might actually go get my son ready for school in a second. And, yeah, make sure. What's up, Radical? Yeah, so this week we got the JOLTS job report, the non-farm payroll report, unemployment report, ISM services, and manufacturing data. So we got a bunch of stuff dropping this week. Yeah, I mean, most U.S. stuff's looking weak. UBS. Yeah, I mean, a lot of U.S. goods or U.S. stocks are going to be weak today. This week we also have AMD. We have AMD, Amazon, Palantir, Uber, Disney, a couple other big earnings reports this week. So we got some stuff. And so again, a week ago it was DeepSeek's. Now it's Tariff tumble. Traders are freaking out now that president who said he would place tariffs put tariffs. Prediction markets late last week did not think that the tariffs were going to happen, and they didn't take it very seriously. And a lot of people are speculating that that's why we got this big drop. One way stocks may come under pressure is that large tariffs pose downside risks to the S&P 500 earnings estimates and return expectations, according to Goldman. They said, quote, if company management decides to absorb the higher input costs, then profit margins would be squeezed. If companies pass along the higher costs to its end customers, then sales volume may suffer. Again, end quote, Goldman Sachs. Yeah, I mean, that's not a shock. Yeah. I don't think it's the yen carry thing happening. Like, I don't think, like, that's the Bank of Japan, and yeah, we might have some people unloading positions that, but, what we talked about last week is true, which is that the yen carry, like, people expected this outcome from the Bank of Japan. The reason the market dropped so heavily on the original yen carry crash was because they came out more hawkish than expected and kind of like shocked the market. Last week, everybody already pretty much expected them to raise it 50 basis points. It was an overwhelmingly probable expectation. And so, that's not a shock. It didn't really shock markets. The reason the markets are down now is absolutely from the tariffs. You can read that anywhere and everywhere, Do you think the tariff news is big enough for the market to continue to drop? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely bad news. We don't know what. Now, it's not. We'll see. It's hard to tell. Like, whether we're going to keep dropping from tariffs is hard to tell. Is it possible the Fed adjusts in any way to this tariffs will cause inflation by the same time they want to avoid a crash? Maybe. I mean, maybe. I have a massive 3x leverage short position, and I'm long natty gas. Do you know anyone like me? I mean, I think it's a very risky thing to go 3x leveraged short right now, because I think, like, again, the problem with doing that, and again, you might be right? Like, I'm not going to short the market, but I sold a lot of my positions because I didn't necessarily. I'm green on the year, so I'm happy with that so far. But in terms of like swing trading and investing, but the problem goes like this, right? Like, people that bet short, okay, the market goes like this, right? And let's say they call the market short here, right? And then the market continues to rip up for a period of time and then crashes back down, right? But when it crashes, it never really gets below their entry, and it basically goes like this and then goes back like that, right? And so they're stuck in a short position here, you know, and the market's going to do what the market does long term, which is keeps going up, you know. And so there's a reason like dollar cost averaging, going long and dollar cost averaging is like the wisest move for most of the time, because even if you're wrong about short-term bullishness, if you DCA, it doesn't freaking matter, you know. Versus like going short, huge size and leverage, betting that the market's going to crash right now. Like the market, you know, the market's not that predictable, unfortunately. No, I don't know. Radical. I mean, the market's suffering from the effects of quantitative easing. Like we're currently in the middle of QT. We're still doing quantitative tightening, from my understanding at least. I haven't seen any announcements that we ended quantitative tightening yet. And yeah, like the market's still affected by it in terms of like inflation, right? Like prices are higher now than they would have been if we didn't do QE after 2020. But, you know, I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. I know the market's still affected by QE in terms of prices. Sure. Like what we're paying for goods now is certainly higher because of that. You could also argue that it was stimulus checks as well. Like stimulus checks certainly exacerbated the price of things. So maybe. It's pretty predictable when you know the market's like a little kid with ADHD. Yeah. I don't think it is. I think that The Big Short romanticizes people who predict the next big market crash, right? And people that watch The Big Short romanticize it and want to be like them. And so they go out here trying to pick the next big market crash, thinking it's like super predictable, and it's not, you know. It's so unpredictable that the couple times that people were able to, the few people that were able to do it correctly out of millions of people, they made a movie about. And so I guess the point is, like, every year somebody tells me the market's going to crash, and every year, most of the time, they're wrong. And so I'm not going to hold my breath for it at this point in time. And I've learned over time, like, a large majority of people that bet on market crashes and they think that this time it's different are usually wrong. And the biggest statistical edge is on the upside. And I think that's very obvious too. And I think people want to predict the market. People want to be contrarian. They want to be like Michael Burry, and they watch The Big Short and they want to be like that. And so what it causes them to do is wildly over predict crashes. And this is, 100% true. Short in the open. Hey, good luck, bro. I hope you make some money. Any news regarding this meeting? I don't think they scheduled a meeting, no. Quantitative easing no longer works. I mean, I disagree, BB. I think if we didn't do, I say this a lot, but it's true. If we didn't do quantitative easing, right? Like if we didn't do QE and lower interest rates after 2020, people would be in a much worse spot in that regard. Maybe not now. Like I think we probably would have corrected and come back by now. But in 2020, people would be much more unhappy. And that's why I always kind of make fun of people who were hypercritical in Jerome Powell, or at least in terms of like Federal Reserve decisions, because like if we didn't do QE and lower interest rates in 2020, people would freak out and yell and scream and blame them and say, what are y'all doing? Y'all aren't doing anything to help us, And then when they do QE and bring interest rates down, then people complain about that too. And so it's easy to complain when we have like a global, like geopolitical, crazy black swan event like we did after 2020. It's easy to complain about the effects of it. but I don't think it's easy to manage that at all, and I think that's a really tough spot. And I think it's a hard job, probably, you know. You like to debate just to debate? No, I mean, listen, you're open to disagreeing with what I say. Again, like somebody's telling me that QE doesn't work. I'm telling them that QE worked in 2020 to a certain extent. You're telling me that the drops that we're getting are because of the yen carry drama, and I think the drops are obviously a drop like this isn't from yen carry. You know, I think that drop is very clearly from tariffs, and so it's not that I like to debate. I just think you're wrong. And that's okay. Listen, it's all good. Like, it's not like I'm hating on you for believing whatever you want to believe. I just think you're wrong. And maybe I'm wrong, you know? And I'm open to hearing it. If y'all think I'm wrong, let's hear it, you know? As long as you're respectful about it. It's not like I'm going to ban you for disagreeing with me. And it's all love. I appreciate you guys chatting with me regardless of any of this, you know? So it's all good. How do you know? Well, because a drop right when the market opens up after big financial news that every other major financial news reporter confirms, like, this is tariff reactions. If it was the yen carry news, it would have happened last Friday, right? The drop would be last Friday after the Bank of Japan announced a 50 basis point hike. Or announced 50 basis points as their new rate. If it was going to be from that, we would have seen it last Friday. Maybe it was, no, not last Friday. Was it the Friday before last? Yeah, the Friday before last. It would have been a week and a half ago. The reason we didn't see, you know, the reason we're seeing it now is because of tariffs, you know. And I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's, I think it's very self-evident, you know. But it's all good. They don't have to unwind in one day. Sure, but if that was the case, we would see a gradual decline, not one big drop like this. You know. And again, I'm open to hearing your logic. Maybe you're right. You know, it's all good. Yeah, it's always good to talk about this stuff. It's obvious tariff. It happened right after. Yeah, that's what I think is as well. But maybe, I don't know. If NVIDIA drops to 90%, I'm going super long. Where's NVIDIA? I haven't honestly looked at NVIDIA this morning. It's down to 115, so man, it's not looking good. NVIDIA's kind of been on an unwinding lately over the last, like, 3 weeks. Yeah, it's all good, Radical. No worries, brother. Yeah, you could agree, disagree. It's all good, man. Like I said. Like, I hope, like, what I hope here on this channel is that people can disagree with me and still not be, like, a hater, you know? Like, look, we're gonna disagree, right? Like, I think freaking chocolate cake's the best cake. You know, you might like lemon cake. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's not like I'm going to hate you for liking lemon cake. Honestly, I kind of like lemon cake more, to be honest. But, you know, my point remains. Like, it's all love. Like, we could, you know, talk about it. Every Monday, the market tanks, and every Tuesday, the market rallies. Well, I mean, I think Mondays recently have been after news was announced on the weekend, right? So I think they announced news on Friday, Saturday, Sunday when the market's closed, and then when the market opens up Monday, we get the corrections from the said news is what's happening. At least the last 2 weeks, we had the DeepSeek, and then we had the tariff news, and I think that's what we're getting here. Yeah, earnings season's here too, so that might kind of influence stuff. Coconut cake? Oh, I definitely disagree with you there, bro. Coconut cake, dude. It's not that I dislike the taste of coconut. I dislike I dislike the I can't, it's too early in the morning. I'm drawing a blank on the word. I dislike the texture of coconut in my mouth. Right? Like it tastes like onions. It's like crunchy. I just don't like that. It gets stuck in your teeth. That's my issue with coconuts. That's my problem with it. Like I like coconut, the taste of coconut. Like I'll drink coconut water and coconut milk. That's good. I just don't like the texture of it in my mouth. Yeah, the consistency, I guess you could say. The texture is what I was trying to say. Yeah, I've had coconut cakes. Not that good. This must be tariffs, yeah. The issue is the U.S. trading partners and allies moving away. Yeah, but again, to be fair, we haven't really been the biggest manufacturing, like, exporting country. Like, it's not like we've been super, like, manufacturing driven in the last 15 years. To be honest, overseas, they beat us everywhere in that regard. Like, China's making all kind of stuff and importing it all across the world. And so, you know, we've been behind in that race for a long time. Mouthfeel, yeah. I want to fight about more relevant things. Can we give up the cake debate? Sure. That is the biggest issue. Hopefully these tiers push manufacturers to bring production back. Yeah, and I think that's his goal. It's a little late in that game, though, I think. You know, like it's a little bit late. Also, guys, remember here, chat, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Sometimes I trade off stream. Sometimes I lose off stream, and you're not going to see it. Do not copy me. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. There we go. Coconut pie? Eh. This is a wealth transfer? Eh. Top 3 most wrong ever. Thank you, Richard. Cheers to you, man. What's your stance on crypto? I like Bitcoin and ETH. That's about it. I like Bitcoin and ETH a lot. The reason I like Bitcoin and ETH is because I think those two things do basically everything you need to do in cryptocurrency. And I know this is going to be a controversial take, but I think some of the rest of that industry makes the industry look bad, you know. And I think Bitcoin with his own chain can do a lot of the things that all these other coins could do. I think it's the most famous coin. It's the most useful coin. Bitcoin, ETH, and Tether, like with the exception of stable coins. Let me backtrack a little bit. I think those 3, Bitcoin, ETH, and stable coins, I think that's all you really need. XRP too. I like XRP. XRP is doing good things for the crypto world in that regard, you know. I guess my point is, like, there's a lot of these other coins that sprout up regularly and that people like gamble on a lot that make the whole industry look bad, you know. But I think you could also make a lot of money in like meme coin trading. So I think there's opportunity, right? But I also think that a lot of the other, not even like, I think you can make money meme trading if you're smart and you have to know that industry super, super well. But if you know it, I think you can make a ton of money. In fact, one of the editors that I used to have started a channel, and now he like trades meme coins and makes tons of money, I think, doing it, it looks like. And so I think you can make money if you know that game, you know that industry. But I also think like, I think there's too many coins out there that people are jumping into that are just going to lose money, and I think it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth in terms of cryptocurrency overall. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of Lululemon. I'm really not, man. Like, I'm really just not a big fan. The stock price is too volatile. You know, the issue I have with it is that it's just too unstable. What's the news with TT? I don't know, something that I see a lot with like TikTok as an example, right? And like I see this from a lot of different people. Like people create TikTok accounts, and they create TikTok accounts, and like they get a certain amount of views on TikTok, and they think it translates to actual views. What it really is people watching those shorts over and over and over and over and over again. Same person just leaving it running, and so they're going to get 5, 6, 10x the real views that they're actually getting. And so it kind of like misleads people into thinking that they have more followers and interest in their stuff than they do, you know. In the last FOMC, Jerome Powell spoke about something about crypto related. He said he was open to making banking more friendly for crypto, I think is what he said. Do you think ETH doubles in the next 5 years? I don't know, probably, but I don't know for sure. Nobody knows. Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. All right. Looking at our poll number, 64% think the market continues dropping. 36% say no, the market does not keep dropping. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to trade. We might trade like a combine account or something while we hang out here with you guys. Let's pull it up, huh? Tariff news is affecting everything, to be honest. I think we have a combine. Yeah, we do. All right, we got a combine, guys. Let's watch me. I'm gonna put it out there. We're gonna pass it first try, you know. Just put that out into the universe. Look at this rebound, though. We're popping back up. Let's document some levels like we do here. Let's find some. I'm gonna put a 5-minute chart up. I've been liking my 5-minute levels too. And we're a little low now, so we gotta build new levels. Here's the NASDAQ. Actually, okay, we could start on the NASDAQ here. This is a very clear level right here. Oops. Very clear level right here. We got this isolated high up there, which looks good. We also have like, I would say maybe like this here. Yeah, look at that reaction to it right there. Literally just reacted right underneath it. We got this level here. We've got this little triple bottom there. I like it. You got this isolated level up there. I think these are pretty good. Definitely got a spot there. Probably got a little bit of one here. Alright, here's a 1 minute look. I'm gonna put this up a little bit, maybe a little bit more confirming there. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Okay. And then we'll put some 1 minute levels up. All right, so I'm gonna switch to a, let's unlink these. And then put micros up so we can kind of draw some micro charts here. Okay, we still got some levels on the micro chart. Let's see, first one is at 46. Here. All right, we got another 1155. All right, we basically already have that one. All right. I think we're probably okay for now. All right, let's try to trade. We got to move up here. We will attack a pullback here too. Let's try it. Any news today? We got ISM manufacturing PMI coming out today. All right, we're gonna add to our winning trade. I took some of this off. I didn't like how fast it broke down. So we took some off and limited the loss that could have been. We might be able to add to this and kind of fix the average here. Let's try. Again, this is a combine account, so like if we lose, not the end of the world. We'll try to give it some time. We should have some room. Yeah, we got ISM manufacturing PMI data coming out today. I think we got, let me see, let me make sure. Yeah, we got construction spending, ISM manufacturing, PMI services, PMI. All right, we're completely flat in the trade. Let's see if we bounce back up. I'm attacking like a really weak market, so it's probably not the best, but it's all good. Yeah, I think with these combine accounts, you kind of just got to swing for the fences a little bit here. But maybe I'm doing it where a little different than other people might. I don't know if the market. Do not copy me. I'm not telling you what to do. Guy. Sir. Do not copy me. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. If you copy me, you might lose. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. Yeah, don't copy me. Especially now, right now. I'm trying to speed pass a funded account program. And so this is not the trades you want to copy me on for sure. Oh, ma'am. Hour and 20 before market opens. Yeah. Well, I gave it a shot here, guys, but man, my resistance level worked really nicely here, but dude, we just dumped. It's actually kind of looking bearish. Like, this kind of looks like a little mini cup and handle pattern, so I wouldn't be shocked to see it break down here. But I'm hoping it runs back up. We'll see. Not looking good, though. Pre-market luck. Yeah, I'm just not good at trading pre-market. I'm genuinely just not good at pre-market trading. I don't know why. Like, if you watch me trade after the opening bell, generally I do pretty good. Generally. I can't say I always do. But if you watch me trade before the bell, oh, dude, it's horrible. I think maybe we get more chop, less momentum, and I attack trends a little bit more when I should attack chop in pre-market. Or maybe it's the opposite. Deal worked out by lunch. Do you think your kids are going to trade? Maybe. I'm not really going to want them to trade. I'll teach them to invest. Investing's fine. I think if the earlier you start investing, the better, because long term the market's going to go up regardless. And so if you start investing like really early, all right, this is cool. I'm going to limit my risk here and cut some of these losing trades. I'm going to take 2 off here just because it took too long. Limit my risk and make it so I don't just destroy this account. Yeah. Alright, so we got out here. We're down on the day for sure, but it's not as bad as it could be. We'll live to trade another day on this thing. Maybe. Hey, what's up, Chef? I think we will fall so hard they will pause the market within the hour. Maybe, but unlikely. You know? Again, I just see you as another guy predicting a market crash, which happens pretty much every day. I think some of it is like confirmation bias too. Like, I think a lot of the people that missed out on the big AI run are secretly like pushing for a crash. You know, people that missed out on the big crazy gains the market had over the last 3 years. People who missed that are some of the people who are pushing for a crash the most. Maybe I should have held this, guys. Maybe I should have held. Sky is falling, sell everything. Yeah. Market always goes up. Yeah, I mean, market will go up. Long-term market's going to go up regardless. The problem is, like, it might go up long-term regardless, but it might downtrend for a decade before it does. And so that's why I always tell people, like, if you're holding for decades, you know, you should never short. But you have to admit the current situation is unique. In what regard is this unique? I should have held my long, guys. Top 3 worst exits ever. Here, look at this. Alright, I think we just gotta jump in full size at this resistance level. Maybe not. I'm gonna buy this. I'm just gonna reset if we lose. I think there's enough support underneath me to justify it, but if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna reset it and try again. I think I need to go a little bit smaller size, in all honesty. Top 3 worst readers in the market ever, to be honest here, guys. It's not really revenge. It's more so just we're down, so it's a combine account. I don't even know if revenge trading is a factor in these accounts, to be honest. Maybe, but I think I need to just trade smaller size. At this point, I'm down so much, I gotta win it back, and so I'm just trying to go big, see if we can hit this level here as a reward target, but... Yeah, no, for sure. No, so I'm just not good at trading in pre-market, but my rule about pre-market trading is only for my funded accounts. And in fact, the reason I trade these is because if I lose this, it's not the end of the world, right? And if anything, when you see me trade these combines, I'm just kind of going hard with trading. I'm going super big size, trying to speed funding, basically, is what I'm doing with these. When you watch me trade my actual funded account, it's nothing like this. Like, I just trade wildly different in my actual funded account because it's my actual funded account. It's, you know, this is just playing around with a $50 account. A developing trade war, right? But that's not unique either. So, like, most of the time, right, we've experienced, there's a very famous quote, it goes by Mark Twain, I think, is who said it, and it goes, the market, history doesn't repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes, is the quote. And look, just to humor everybody, I'm going to limit my size here and get out small. And now we're basically flat on the trade, which is fine. We can let the last two go and see what we get. But yeah, the famous quote goes, history doesn't repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. And so we've seen trade wars before. If anything, I told you guys this earlier today, which is that during his last administration, he did a very similar thing, right? Like during his last administration in 2016, he did the same thing, right? He imposed tariffs. It was with China last time. And it would have a volatile effect on markets. Like I remember it like tanking markets and like, you know, causing drops in markets. I remember trading at this period of time too. And so we were like trading in the same period of time. And so it's not really anything super different that he's doing now versus what he was doing back then. It's pretty similar to what he's done before. Tupperware. Yeah, TUP. I remember TUP. I don't know what happened to it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this, I guess. And just get out mostly flat on this trade. We'll wait for some better edge closer to the open. Yeah, we dropped big. We dropped big last time. I remember the trade wars in 2016. I remember covering it. Like, my channel was around the last time, and we were covering it. I remember the volatility that we got from it. John, do you ever get a feeling that they trade against you? No. Because, I mean, Eric, your thinking is flawed in a specific way. Eric? So Eric says, do you ever feel like a hedge fund or prop firm trades against you? No. And the reason I say no is because, bro, it doesn't matter who's doing it. Nobody's got the size to where they're going to influence the NASDAQ in any significant way, right? Like, they're not going to be able to influence the NASDAQ in the same way, right? Like, they're not going to be able to take positions. And, like, look, so, you know how much weight it takes to move, like, the QQQ? Like, you know how much size that would take? And so, I think that's just a paranoid feeling. It's impossible for somebody to move the NASDAQ in that significant of a way. It's not impossible, but it's improbable. If that makes sense. You know. So yeah, it's not impossible. It's just super improbable that anybody's going to be, you know, yeah, they're not worried about our contracts in that way. You don't think my 3 micros get stop hunted? Yeah. Yeah. That's my point. Again, they don't care what we're doing that much. We're just not trading. Like, again, this is, you got to think about it, bro. The S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, you know, these things, these indices have so big of size, like such huge size in them that, like, you got to think about it in terms of like float, right? We used to have a guy that came on my stream and he would say, hey guys, if we all buy Amazon, or no, I think it was Apple. He said, hey guys, if we all buy Apple at the same time, you know, we can all get rich. And I told him, I was like, bro, we could all buy Apple at one time here. Everybody in this room could all buy Apple at one time. And the net effect on Apple is going to be negligible, right? Like it basically, we could all buy it at once. It still ain't going to move it. And so you got to take that context into it. Like, they're not worried about us in that way. And I think, again, Eric, I think it comes from a flawed understanding about what all this is and what it means and, like, all that stuff. Like, you got to understand what this is, which is that, like, when I'm trading the NASDAQ 100, right? This is not just something on Top Step. This is one of the biggest exchange-traded funds, index funds in the world, right? The QQQ is one of the biggest exchange-traded funds. The NASDAQ 100 is one of the biggest indices in the world, bro. Like, this is something that has so much money into it. Like, look, let me look up the market. Is there a market cap? The NASDAQ 100 has a market cap of 27 trillion, sir. 27 trillion with a T. That's big money. That's some big money floating around, dude. Like, where nobody you got, listen, do you, what you could speculate on, like, what it would take to move that. It would take at least 10%, 5% to move it in any big way, like 3, 4, 5%, right? So if we start looking at percentages here, right? So what, 27 trillion? All right, here's 27 billion. That's 27 trillion right here. Okay, right. 100K, million, billion, trillion. Okay, yeah, 27 trillion. All right. Let's say 3%. So just to move the NASDAQ 100, you would need about $810 billion at 3%. You know? Bro, that's more money than anybody has in the world. You know what I mean? It's just not really feasible. It's not something that's going to happen. Hope that makes sense. What's a good stock that build homes? Any suggestions? Not financial advice. What do you mean, home builder stock? Again, I'm not telling you it's good. I don't know if it's good or not. Lennar, Lennar, is a home building company. I don't know if they're good. Oh, hold on, baby. Here, hold on, guys. Hello? All right, guys, I will be right back. I will be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry. Yeah, I know we're gonna have some people that left. It's all good, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, my wife was up all night. Couldn't sleep, so. Any important earnings this week? Yeah, we got Amazon. We got Palantir this afternoon at the closing bell. We've got Amazon. We've got a bunch. We got like Pepsi. We got a bunch of earnings, to be honest. Yeah. Tariffs kind of freaking everybody out. We got ISM manufacturing PMI too in about an hour and a half. Yeah, sorry guys. All right. All right, so now we're in the kind of this middle range where we've dropped a lot this morning, and now we're kind of bouncing back a little bit here. Let me see the chat. John, you think PMI will move markets? Maybe. It could. I mean, it's not a small release. ISM manufacturing PMI. It's ISM PMI too. So it's one of the larger PMI reports. Yeah. Yeah, Adesanya should retire, I would say too. It's time. Dude needs to retire, I would say. And again, if you want to check out one of my affiliates, check out TopStep. TopStep funds traders in the futures market. There's no PDT in futures. They give you a demo, test your skill with it. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one is $49. And so they give you a demo, test your skill with it. The futures market is very similar to day trading like stocks. Day trading futures very, very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT rule on futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Patterns are very, very similar to blue chip stock patterns, and there's no PDT restrictions. And again, a great way to learn how to day trade is in the futures market. This is the NASDAQ 100 is basically the QQQ price action. You can day trade this in the futures market with no PDT rule. And again, the patterns are very similar to blue chips. The big edge on TopStep X is zero commission. Literally zero commission, no PDT rule on TopStep X. If you they give you a demo, if you pass the test, you got to make 2K or you got to make 3K without losing 2K first. If you pass that test, they fund you between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split. The base one is only $49. It's the 50K challenge. If you fail, you're out $50 basically. It's not the end of the world. And so it's limited risk, teaches you how to trade, great way to learn how to trade under pressure. It's kind of like a souped up demo account. It teaches you how to trade, and that's the context you have to have with it, is like, it teaches you how to trade. Most day traders lose, and I think that's probably the same here. I think most day traders are just going to lose regardless of where they trade. It's a lot cheaper to learn how to lose on TopStep, and if you're good enough to pass it, you can then withdraw and do a bunch of cool stuff versus funding your own account and losing thousands of dollars doing that. It's just a better way, in my opinion. But if you want to check it out, they are an affiliate of mine. I am biased in their favor because I get paid by them. And so if you want to check them out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. Yeah, we ended up losing that Combine account, unfortunately, which is okay. What's your top 5 cryptos to 5x in the next couple months? I think coming up with a list of top 5 cryptos to 5x in a couple months is silly. Like, to make 500 or to make huge percentages like that on anything is kind of like a silly thing to try to predict. That's like me saying, what's the best stock that's going to 10x over the next year? Like 10x, bro? Like, like why? You know, like what kind of stock is going to 10x over the next year? It's got to be incredibly big gambles and risk. You know, so that's what I'm saying. What crypto is going to 5x over the next couple months, bro? What are you talking about, man? You know, that's silly. Like, no real cryptocurrency is going to do that. The only thing that might do that is a meme coin, and I don't know if that's the best thing to ever encourage anybody buying ever. Didn't Nvidia 10x overnight? Of course not. And the only people that really genuinely go searching for something like that are people who don't understand the market. No, I'm not. You're probably just trolling Kevin, to be honest. But I think the only people that really go searching for something that's going to 10x in 2 months, 5x in 2 months, are people that don't understand the market, and they get kind of misled into that by like gurus and penny stocks and nonsense, right? Like they just kind of get misled into it. So just be careful, guys. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. All right. If y'all want to check out my video, we did have a video that we dropped over on Friday about our system, how we document support and resistance, risk reward, all that good stuff. And so if you want to see it, there's the link right there. Check it out. You can watch it before the market opens. John, what are your thoughts on ETFs? I think ETFs are useful. Like, you got to understand, people have this misconception that you can just directly trade the S&P 500. Like that there's an actual S&P 500 that I can just kind of go out there and buy. Right? And that's not true. Like, I can't buy, like if I type in SPX here and then I try to buy it, it won't let me. Why? Because it's an index. Like, I can't buy an index like that. I can buy the futures contracts that's based around the index, like the ES. I could buy that. I could buy the NASDAQ futures contract, right, in futures. But I can't buy the NASDAQ 100. I can't buy NDX here. Right, it's not going to let me, and so ETFs are useful for that reason alone. They give you exposure to things that you wouldn't normally be able to buy, and they also give you easy diversification, and so yeah. But to say Nvidia didn't 10x is crazy. We all watched it happen. Now you're taking what I'm saying out of context, Kevin. I said Nvidia didn't 10x overnight, like you said it did. You said it overnighted 10x'd. Okay, and Nvidia never 10x'd overnight. Nvidia might have 10x'd, but it certainly wasn't overnight. That's my point, you know. Yeah, I guess something that Kevin needs to hear, if he's genuinely being honest. I can't tell if he's trolling or not, but something you might want to listen to, man, is that the easy, quick money like that, the fast money where you're trying to find 5, 10, 20, 30x, whatever, like where you're trying to get rich, you're trying to turn $1,000 into 30K in 2 months, bro. Like that type of easy money doesn't exist. If in fact it's much more statistically probable that you're just going to lose whatever you invest into that stuff, trying desperately to search for that type of thing, right? Like that's kind of like a rookie, like sucker's bet that rookies get involved with, right? Most of the time they get kind of misled and they get kind of manipulated by marketing from like penny stock gurus who want to sell courses or services about how great they are, and so then they start preaching, oh, look at me, I turned $500 into 30K, you just got to use my day trading system, currently $39.99, $4,000, bro, just buy it. That's how people end up having that type of mindset. Like, ooh, I got to find something that 5, 10x is. That's a ridiculous mindset, bro. I've said it before. If you have a system in which you can find any stock that you can earn over 70% a year on average, if you have a system where you can earn over 100% a year on average, 200% a year on average, right? Just 2x, 1x, 2x. If you have a system that could do that, Goldman Sachs will pay you $1 billion if you have a large enough sample size to justify it, where you can make over 100% regularly in markets. They'll pay you $1 billion. You know why you don't have a lot of $1 billion day trading gurus? It's because they're full of crap, Bro, aren't we trying to get rich? That's why we gamble in the stock market. We could try to get rich, but the way to get rich is not by looking for 5x in 2 months. And this is a good conversation. So it's honestly giving me content to say, this is a good conversation. We could all try to get rich, but the way to get rich isn't for looking for 5x in 2 months, bro. It's just not. The way to get rich is probably dollar cost average long-term into S&P, NASDAQ, Dow. Isolate some blue chip stocks that you think have a big future and invest in those and sit on them for years, decades. That's the way to get rich in the stock market. Right. A few years, maybe you could look for that, but. I almost fell for the guru showing off their luxury lifestyle. Yeah, I'll say the quote. I'll say it again. There's a very famous quote, and it goes, "Riches yell, wealth whispers." Absolutely true. People with real money don't want you to know they have it. People that don't have very much money, they want to act rich and wealthy. There's a difference. I'm not even claiming to be rich or wealthy, but I like the quote because it's very true. Honestly, one of the best jiu-jitsu quotes is probably, and I'm going to make this up right now, white belts yell, black belts whisper. I like it. I'm going to use that quote. I'm going to change it I'm going to use that in every single interest I have. It translates. Yeah, if you average 30% a year for any big, for 10 years, dude, you're going to be wealthy. That's my point, though. That's the misconception, is that, people get stuck in this gamble mindset. A lot of them are just kind of gambling away. They just kind of doing what they would do at a casino in the stock market, and they wonder why they lose, Right, for sure. What are your thoughts on Intel? I don't really like it. I bought Intel. I bought the dip on Intel a couple 6 months ago. Lost a couple percent and sold it, and it kept on dropping. And so getting out was a good thing. But I just don't like it. It's too weak. I mean, maybe there's some value there, but when you take the context of I don't know if the market's going to correct sometime over the next few years. I just don't like it right now. Again, that's just me. Maybe it runs. I don't know. Did he really say that? Catelyn Stark. That's the only Catelyn I know. What are your thoughts on Uber? I like Uber with a couple exceptions to, I like Uber and I think Uber's good. The only exception I have to that for Uber is if full self-driving takes over, right? If full FSD takes over, it's going to render Uber, Lyft obsolete in a lot of ways. If the Tesla robotaxi takes off, it's going to render Uber and Lyft obsolete in a lot of ways. But generally, I like it. I think it'll probably be fine. But there's a couple asterisks next to it that I just don't. I don't know how it's going to turn out, and so it's not something that I like. There's some stocks that I look at and I'm like, yeah, this thing's going to be fine long term. Uber, I'm pretty much there. I'm like, hey, this thing's probably going to be fine long term, but there's a couple risks long term that I also think you have to be honest about and objective when you look at it. But it'll probably be fine in my opinion. I don't know. Don't copy me. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible, Kevin, that they could partner with Robotaxi and self-driving cars. That's absolutely true. It's kind of like Waymo, but a different technology, but kind of like Waymo. Sure. Yeah, that's probably about true. I'll probably start to DCA if we dip that much. Finn. We got data. We got like regular data at 9:45, and then ISM PMI at 10 a.m. So. Yeah, we got ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. We're gonna cover it. It's just we got an hour and 15 minutes. I wonder if some people would always prefer a human driver, especially if they keep pricing close. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm sure there are some people that would prefer that, but I think after the technology has more credibility, it's going to be outliers only that are like that most of the time. I think people like to, I think the older population is always going to be distrusting of technology. But I think that over time, people are going to trust it more and more. And people who don't trust it are going to be outliers. Yeah, join our Discord. It's right there. It's completely free. Doesn't cost anything. Check it out. I haven't even pulled it up this morning, Pawn. My bad, dude. Yeah, so the tariffs are driving crypto down. Alright guys, so yeah, hope you guys are doing good, man. Honestly, the tariffs news is tanking everything. We've been in a sideways range though for the last like couple hours, honestly. Yeah, sorry dude. Yeah, we're gonna cover Snapchat. Tomorrow we also have Google tomorrow. We got Snapchat and Google tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna stream that. Brutal correction, yeah. Yeah, so Robinhood has Super Bowl betting contracts. Interesting. Honestly, I'm excited for this week, dude. Like, this week we got a whole bunch of stuff. I always like big weeks, even though I'm busy, because they're just good for growth. Like, the next 2 weeks are, like, hella busy, which is great. All right, guys. All right, we're dropping down a little bit now, too. Staying in this range here. Let me put this chart up. The NASDAQ here. Let me put this up. Again, we're not going to trade until the open, though. We got to at least give it to in the open until we trade. Sell off or bounce at the opening bell. I don't know. We asked people. People tend to think we're going to keep dropping this week. Yeah, AMD has earnings tomorrow too. Could be a bounce back when the market opens. We will wait in anticipation. John, any chance you could attempt to explain how tariffs affect the market? Yeah, I mean, most people speculate on this, that like tariffs... I'm sure I could probably have a better worded, a better worded one using AI, but tariffs are going to affect the market specifically through like earnings of stocks, right? Like it's theorized that with more strict tariffs on other countries, we sell less products in the U.S. U.S. companies sell less products is the end net effect of it. When U.S. companies sell less products, typically their earnings are lower, weaker than anticipated, and that has a consequential effect on markets. It's just one of the ways, right? Also puts a little bit more pessimistic look in terms of just the general economy, you know. They can hire less people because they're selling less stuff, because people are choosing not to buy U.S. products over others because of the higher levies on the goods, stuff like that. Like that's how it's going to affect everything, essentially. We have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. in about an hour. We'll put a timer up. Decent explanation. Yeah, all good. Yeah, Palantir has earnings after the closing bell today, too. That's a big tech stock we should watch. I'm going to put the gold up here. Here's gold. Gold's ripping up on all this stuff, too. It's really approaching lifetime highs. We also can look at NVIDIA, which is still down pretty substantially here, too. Look at NVIDIA down to 115s. Yeah, you know, I try to tell people that, like, look, dude, the market needs a correction, man. We're up 105% on the NASDAQ, or we were up over 105% in the NASDAQ in 2 years, averaging 50% a year. That's crazy. It's not sustainable. Market average is 8% a year. And so if we're doing 50% on average over a 2-year period, it usually means we're a little up, we're a little high, and that we kind of need to come back down to earth a little bit. And that's normal. That's healthy. It's not a shocking thing. Yeah, CPawn. If you post the Discord, it doesn't work. So it means that the keyword to the Discord doesn't work. I'm just gonna post it myself. If y'all want to join our Discord, here's the link. That's the right link right there. You'll be able to join. So if you want to join our Discord, it's completely free. Doesn't cost anything. There it is. I was watching your stream from last night, thinking it was right now. I'm half asleep. You must be half asleep because I didn't stream last night. It's Monday. Alright, so we're still in this range on the NASDAQ. We've been in this range for a minute here. We drew this range earlier. We're just kind of sitting in it. Yeah, correction is necessary. BJ stock, what is that? BJ's, what is this? The restaurant? BJ's Wholesale Club? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know this company. I know I've been to the restaurant. Is it BJ's the restaurant? What is it? Or is it TJ's? No, it is BJ's. And bro, they suck, dude. They were not good, dude. I remember I went to one in Colorado. My wife and I went. And my whole family went, actually. And I remember we tried it, and we were like, dude, this food sucks. It's not good. For the prices, too. Oh, is somebody honking? Hold on. Alright, guys. It would be interesting to test if people always answer yes to your polls. Okay. Does the market drop at the opening bell? All right, there we go. Does the market drop at the opening bell, guys? Vote on the poll. The first one is no. The second one is yes. Vote on the poll. Let me know how you feel. I'm not sure if you thought, Kay, that people are just picking the top option. This poll would show that it's not true. Joker. Honestly, it's just my subjective opinion. I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't know anything about the company. Honestly, the long-term chart on BJ's restaurant is pretty solid. I mean, it's up big. So don't copy me. All right, guys. Cheers to you all. Let's sit around. We got 30 minutes until the market opens, chat. 30 minutes. Whew. What do you guys think? Drops at the opening bell. Let me know how you feel, guys. Let me know. We got Palantir earnings today. Futures down. Yeah, the whole market is down right now. Specifically from the tariff news. Basically, again, we can restate it. You can also see it in big old yellow right here, guys. But the market is down because Canada and Mexico announced retaliatory tariffs on us. I know Canada specified that they were going to do 25% potentially tariffs on us, meaning they're going to make U.S. products 25% more expensive, discouraging buying U.S. products. And again, this is retaliatory because of the tariffs by the current administration on China, Mexico, and Canada. I would just be careful. I hear a lot of people saying that all these people are alive. With all the stuff going on geopolitically, there's going to be a lot of scams. Okay, what I mean by scams, basically scammers will take an old interview of somebody, of a public figure. Sometimes it's Bill Gates, sometimes it's Elon, sometimes it's current president. And what they'll do is they'll splice it up to where it looks like it's live right now. And they'll title their video live and they'll send it a bunch of bot views pretending to be said person, whomever it is. And then somewhere along the lines, they'll be like, oh, we're doing a giveaway. Click this link, and they'll try to steal your password. They'll try to steal your username, and they'll pretend to be another website. Or sometimes they'll even be like, oh, we're doing a crypto giveaway. We'll 2x your Bitcoin. If you send us 1 Bitcoin, we'll send you 2 back, right? And they're just kind of scamming people. But this is very common, very prevalent. So just be careful. I'm not saying anybody's not live or whomever, but scammers are rampant everywhere now. So just be careful. Do you worry about them doing that to you? No, because I monitor mine a lot more, right? So like an example of this, if somebody tries to stream me and it shows me, YouTube will send me a notification. They'll say, hey, this person is streaming your content or video. This person is using your content. What do you want to do? Right? And I almost always just kick them, like boot them out, depending on like, as long as like sometimes they'll basically like, I've seen people take my videos, like my educational videos, and then they'll put like some weird link in front of it, right? And so I almost end up just taking it down and getting it taken down. You have to. I don't know. Some people say it's easy to tell the difference. I've known a lot of people that got with those things, you know. Yeah, the AI scams are getting super common now. All right. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Bitcoin down a ton, bro. Here, go to the website, Surah. Go to the website. Just check the facts, bro. Or ma'am. I think you said you're a ma'am, right? Check the facts, ma'am. Yeah, I was talking to my friend about the simulation theory too. You know, because like you always wonder, so like if there is a creator, right? Like this is kind of getting deep real quick. If there is a creator, you got to ask, okay, well, why is there like poisonous snakes and like sharks and danger, right? And I talked about I used to play Sim City, right? And if you didn't have like balance, it would become like overcrowded. There would be trash everywhere. It would be like a disaster in your sim, right? And you could use that same context for like that's why there's poisonous snakes and spiders and sharks and tornadoes and all this stuff. It's all about balance. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it's an interesting look at it. My friend and I were talking about it. Who created the creator? You could go deeper than that with it. You could say, hey, and I talked about this before, but you could say, hey, imagine we create a simulation and then, you know, and we give those simulations like AI personalities. And then those AI personalities develop technology enough so that they create their own simulations and they give their simulations their AI personalities. And then that repeats level down, level down, level down. How many times does that go down before you're in base reality? You know? And it really, when you think about it, it messes with your head because at this current age, it's actually possible for us to create AI systems that are that smart, which is a wild thing. Like I never thought 30 years ago we would have AI systems that were smart enough. I thought it was just science fiction, you know? Yeah, it got deep real quick. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take it to a deep level. Somebody said if there is a creator, why are children? Well, because you have to have balance. And also, if you go through like a biblical perspective, you have to have free will, right? People have free will. If not, they would just be robots. And so, you know, like you got to think about it in that context. And again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of it, but like we're talking about simulation theory here. So, you know, I'll move back over to markets. It's going to get a little too deep, I think, here. And it's too spicy of a conversation, and so we're gonna move on back over. Palantir earnings, I don't know, man. Palantir's up a lot. It is up a lot. Palantir's up to over $80 a share, which is kind of crazy. Got up to 85.20s here, 85.20s. Yeah, it's too spicy of a conversation. I'm gonna move on from it. Sorry, guys. The key to market is to reverse engineer the human mind. I tend to agree with that. Even like the movie Limitless talked about how learning the market is learning mass psychology over everything else, right? You got to learn how people behave, what makes them panic in markets, what makes them optimistic. And if you can really get down to the root of that, you could probably take some good trades and find some good strategies, but it's going to depend. All right, guys. Here, hold on. Hello? Alright, I can send Jack out. He should be ready. Okay. Alright. Alright. Love you. Bye. I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, I'm here. We got 15 minutes left. Market's still staying in the sideways range, and so we're coming, guys. We're coming. Just bear with me here. Market's in the sideways range. Yeah, I'm helping my wife get the kids ready for school today, guys. So I'll be right back. Again, we're coming. I'm waiting on my daughter to walk out. So when will tariffs come out? I don't know. They say they're supposed to meet with leaders tomorrow. Or is it tomorrow or this morning? Chat, let me know if it's tomorrow or this morning. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys. Helping my wife out with the kids today. Market honestly hadn't moved. Gold's running up, though, a little bit. Gold is running up. The carry trade was creating a way bigger move. I disagree. I think the carry trade, we didn't really see much of a reaction from that at all. This move that we've got overnight is a much larger move. Like, look. So even if you look everywhere, right? You look at, like, the QQQ. This is absolutely a response to... oh, wait, let me get out the way. This is absolutely a response to the tariff news. The carry trade, again, was as expected. And again, I was talking to this about somebody earlier about this. But I never really heard an argument back. You know, the carry trade was as expected. It wasn't a shock to the system. Like, the original carry crash happened because it was outside of what they expected. Versus the last Bank of Japan rate decision, which was as expected, so it was a little bit different. And, you know, yeah, we just didn't really see a big move from that. And now we're gapping down big overnight, and this is absolutely from tariffs. This move right here, and so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't think this is the carry trade, you know, stuff. Yeah, the original carry trade, sure. If you're talking about the original carry trade, absolutely. It caused a bigger move to markets for sure. Yeah. All right, guys, let's get ready. I remember we got ISM manufacturing PMI data coming out. So we got ISM manufacturing PMI. Yeah, so we got ISM manufacturing data coming out soon. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, but the tariff news is more influential for sure, so far at least. Then the original carry trade's different, but... And I think we have some regular manufacturing PMI. All right. Let's get ready to day trade. Market's in a very sideways range, though. It really is. Hello? You should trade Palantir. Maybe I will. I don't know. It depends on the interest. Just genuinely depends on the interest. Yeah, we asked people, are this market's dropping at the opening bell? 67% say yes. I don't know. Again, we're going to be day trading futures at the opening bell today, guys, so just be ready. All right, there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold. Patterns are very, very similar to like day trading blue chip stocks. No PDT rule. You can mark it in, mark it out, just like day trading stocks. Top Step, they give you a demo. 50K is the base one. It's only $49 a month. If you pass the test, you got to make 3K in profit to pass without losing 2K first, following their rules and conditions. If you do that, they fund you 50K, 90% split. If you fail, you're out $50, basically $49. If you pass it, 90% similar to funding your own account. You also get to keep your own 10K in profit, and they paid out almost $200 million in the last 4 years. They fund thousands of traders, and we're one of the most legit in the world. And it genuinely builds your skill in trading. Genuinely builds your skill in trading. And if you do sign up, use Top Step X because again, there's zero commission. So I can make tiny amounts of trades, $22, $18, $15, still net profit in those trades. And so again, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. This is only my second plug all day in hours. If you want to check it out, there's the link. Great way to help support the channel, understand all the stuff on screen. Link is in the chat right there. What's up, Lolo? Good morning. Yeah, the market is honestly hasn't moved all morning. Like we've been watching it all morning. This has basically been the market. We had the big tariff news tanking markets, and now we're just sideways. No, Nick, I don't. Yeah, here we go. Here's the opening bell of a crazy day, guys. Big tariff dips. Yeah. Alright, guys. Trade war looming. Which companies are most impacted by tariffs? Well, companies that sell things to other countries, you know, or that use other countries' supplies. In those 3 countries, at least. Yeah, so, alright. Warren Buffett, what's he buying? I don't know, man. Do you think this dip is dippy enough for him to be interested in buying stuff up right now? Look at this drop right here. This is usually a fundamental drop. Look at that. Some type of news just dropped. Let's see what it is. Look at that red showing up. Weird. Maybe not. I don't know. Interesting. Look at that red candle. I don't know if it's legitimate or not when we zoom in here. I don't know if it's a fundamental catalyst of some sort or if the market's just reacting. If it's just a technical move. I'm not sure. Yeah, Palantir's a big stock. We might cover it. I don't know. PMI, yeah, we got PMI data coming out in 30 minutes. It's at 10 a.m. Probably technical. Yeah, I guess it's not big enough to be, like, certain it's fundamental for sure. I'm just sitting around waiting here, guys. I'm trying not to trade before the open. We still got 3 minutes left. We'll trade the opening bell, see what we get. We have regular manufacturing PMI data at 9:45, just S&P final manufacturing PMI. It's last time was 50. It's not a big release. The ISM one is big though, and it's expected at 50 even, which is completely neutral, right? Like for manufacturing, ISM PMI over 50 means an expansion in the manufacturing sector. Below 50 means contraction in the manufacturing sector, right? So reading a 50 means neutral, like no growth or contracting or anything in the sector. And so that's why this is all relevant, especially on the heels of tariffs, right? Like the tariff news are impacted by strength or weakness in manufacturing and how much that affects everything else too. So it's a with the underlining news today, I think PMI data is a little bit more relevant than it usually is. Yeah, where's the VIX at? I'm sure the VIX is up pretty big today, right? Yeah, gapping up to 20 on the VIX, basically. Not a shock. Is everything going to be expensive now? Not necessarily. Everything certainly not, but some things maybe more expensive at least. He said he just met with... Did he really? All right, so we're right back up there here too. Look at the market pop right back up. Big red candle, big green candle coming through. We got less than a minute. We got about 20 seconds left until the market opens, chat. All right, let's do this. Let's see what we get. I'm ready. Again, we're going to be sitting the first 5 minutes out. We are going to be sitting the first 5 minutes out. If you want to watch the video we published on how we document support and resistance and base trades around all that stuff, here is said video. There's the opening bell, guys. But again, here's the said video on that stuff. Let's see if we drop at the opening like a lot of people speculate we will. Here's the support and resistance video. There it is right there. Check it out. All right, so a lot of people speculate that we're going to dip at the opening bell. We've dropped a little bit. Still in the same sideways range, though. There's a red candle at the open. Let's watch NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA with a big dip at the opening bell. Let's put Apple up, too. Look at that big retracement, though. Look at Apple run. So Apple up, NVIDIA down. Amazon up a little bit at the open. Google up a little bit too. Tesla up a little bit too. All right, look at the market run. So market's starting to pop up a little bit here. Again, so far, Tesla is up since the open. Google's up. Amazon's up. Netflix is up. Microsoft is up. Nvidia's starting to fight its way back here and running a little bit now, too. We'll see what happens. I will be right back, guys. I'll be right. Give me like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Maybe a little bit longer, but I'll be right back. Honestly, we drew the supported resistance line and we literally tapped it. Came right back down, maybe a little bit higher. No, my daughter's here and she had to get her softball stuff, so that's why I ran off real quick. I noticed she texted me and had to go run and do that. No, I get that done before the stream in the morning, guys. All right, so Tesla just went red on the red since the opening bell. Microsoft turning a little bit. Amazon up to 204s. Look at that 200 exponential bounce. Honestly, I can't trade in the first 5 minutes anyway, so probably best. Apple turning all the way back down there. That's kind of look a little sketchy. Tesla's still falling down a little bit. Amazon's still heading up. Here, we got to switch to micros on this account. All right, so look, we're tapping that 246, 250 level. A lot of stuff starting to turn here, though, guys. I'm going to short right here. We break the top of that trend, we got to cut it. And we got to cut it. So we just lost, what did we lose? Like 50 bucks. Oh, we only lost 20 bucks right there. That's not that bad. And look, there's the dip. Ah, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. See if we can short this. A little pop. Not the best fill. Luckily, we only had one symbol here. I like the tick chart a lot. It's 20 ticks. Breakdown. Let's see if we can get some more. Maybe you need to size up some here. Chat, what do you guys think? Yeah, I'm definitely not where I want to be, so I got to cut this too. All right, we're down like 50 bucks basically. That's a big retracement though up there, guys. Look at Apple. This is what's driving it up. Look at Apple. Look at Apple pop. And we're down on the day so far. Buy into the support and resistance level. Dude, we've been buying today and just getting hammered here, dude. I took one off just to protect the trade. We'll take 4 here, and that's it. See if we retrace back up. All right, we took piece off there, locked it out where we could have been big down. We were only... Now we're kind of flat, but I'm going to cut a little piece of this off too. See if we get a little rip. Should have held that whole position. Would have made a lot more. All right, so we got out of there. We ended up making money on that trade too. Got a winning trade in there. But the market's honestly, chat, the market's moving in a big range, but kind of sideways. Apple's about to break highs since the opening bell and rebound some here. Yeah, people are asking why we're not dropping. It's because it's not that easy, you know. Like the market's already down a lot, and so the market's already red. And generally, like we drop and then we rebound at the opening bell. Tesla just dumped quickly. I'm gonna short this right here. It's kind of a risky short, but that's okay. Dude, we are just, dude. I feel like literally every time we buy, it just rips up in my face. Like we literally had like the worst luck with our entries, dude. It's literally like we buy it, huge rip up in the other direction every time. And so we're down like $100. Still green on the account total, but I'm gonna switch this account. Not loving life on that account today. And I think I probably should just slow down my trading a little bit. Yeah, dude, it literally, every time I buy it, it's just kind of like huge move the other direction. Like, huge move. Especially that one. I'm trying to see what ripped up. So, it wasn't Apple, which I've been watching. This is Microsoft, Netflix. Yeah, this is Microsoft, Netflix, and Google. Google flying up. Google has earnings this week, too. Meta on a huge tear up there as well. So, a lot of stuff's just coming back. We'll see if we can do better on this account for the day. Yeah. Yeah, definitely top 3 worst ever. Yeah, Meta's flying up. Meta's at 692s. And like I want to attack some levels here, but I'm not confident at all today anymore. I'm going to stick to just one contract. See if we can buy up into this. Just have to try to start scalping some movements here. All right, so we just made a little bit there. We'll take it. We're green. Look at that huge retracement, dude. There's a bounce right there off of that level. Meta's still flying up too, chat. All right, so we're moving back up to test. Look at that turn. Coming all the way back down. Yeah, this depends on what Nvidia does. Apple looks weak too, in all honesty. I'm going to short this. It's kind of a risky short. I just see a couple different things. All right, we're going to cut that too. Nvidia right at the volume weighted average price. Apple breaking under the volume weighted average price. Meta extended on the upside. So I thought all that was okay, but we got out enough, fast enough, I guess, here. Should have held that short too. Look at that drop. Palantir earnings today as well, yeah. All right, guys, listen. In 2 minutes, we have regular manufacturing PMI data. And then in 15 minutes, we got ISM manufacturing PMI data. So. Look at this rip. Wow. Nvidia popping back too. This looks weak, but who knows? The problem is, to me, this looks weak, but if it retraces and starts to head up, it could really go up quickly. Take the elevator up type of thing. So I'm just going to sit and wait for some type of good edge. Yeah, so we've been trading one of our other accounts, and I'll show you guys the trades we've made on this thing so far, dude. It's been a pretty good day so far. So, like, look, and again, we've been trading on one of the other. We attacked the breakdown. I'm trying to get used to trading micros on this account. So this account we trade a little bit differently, and the pressure is just a little bit too much. But again, so far today on this account, you can kind of see 2-3 starts right here. 15, 115, 35, 75, 115. So currently on this account on the day, we're up $340 on this account. The other account, we're up about 30 that you see me trading. I'm probably going to retire this account for the rest of the day. I think that's a good enough successful day. On this account, we're up as well. And we were correct about our short thesis too. Like something that I do on my charts, guys, and I probably should have talked about this in the video, is that I pull up all Mag 7 stocks, all 7 of the Magnificent 7. I put up Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and I leave those on my charts. And then I watch the direction of all of them. And so something that I saw here is that Apple pulling back under the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price, Nvidia rejecting at the volume weighted average price, putting in a lower high. I see Amazon pulling back, Google pulling back. And so that's why I'm like, hey, this looks red. This looks weak. And we continue down. But I'm kind of gauging it off of all the other Mag 7 stocks, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm sorry. We had the regular manufacturing PMI data come out too. Let me cover it. I'm sorry, chat. Let me pull this up. This one's like insignificant, genuinely insignificant. Doesn't matter. This data came in at 50.1. Or no, this one's not out yet. I don't think. Maybe I'm late. Let me make sure. Yeah, so this one didn't show up yet. I wonder why. Let me look at another source. Okay, yeah, it did show up. Okay, this came in at 51.2 versus 50.1 expected. 51.2 versus 50.1 expected. So stronger for the manufacturing sector than expected. The big one, though, is ISM data. That's in 14 minutes. So the big manufacturing data is ISM. That's in 14 minutes. Let me put this up. I'll put the... It's expected at, for ISM PMI data, expected at 49.3. And releases here at 10 a.m. Put this up on the bottom right here so you guys can see it, make it a little bit larger. There we go. All right, look at the 200 exponential in that support bounce. So if you watch the video we put out, guys, one of my favorite strategies is looking for a pullback to the 200 exponential when it has a support level and taking advantage of this bounce that you just saw happen right there. So you see we got this support level here that gives it support. We got the 200 exponential here that also gives it support. And so when that happens, a bounce is super probable. And so again, you can kind of see we pulled back to this level, got this really nice pop back up. It might keep bouncing, but yeah, we talk about this exact strategy in the video. Regardless of whether it breaks down now, we did get that bounce exactly at that level. It kind of confirms the level a little bit. So the ISM consensus varies, Guy and Van, depending on the source. There's not one right or wrong one. It depends on the source, you know. Like Bloomberg's going to have it at something. MarketWatch is going to have it at another. Reuters is going to have it at another. You know what I mean? Like these are all analysts' expectations. It's not like there's one right one and the rest are wrong. Anyways, we got 11 minutes, chat. 11 minutes. And so again, there we go. We're bouncing same level we talked about. It's a big support or resistance level, but I think the rest of the market still kind of looks weak. Meta's starting to bounce back up though. Tesla really breaking down to 380s. All right, so we're looking at some other stuff. All right, so we're still watching the same level here. I don't trust it enough, though. Yeah, I mean, but even so, you're saying that's not a consensus then, but the consensus could be taken from like numerous different analysts. It's all relative to the analysts that are predicting it. You know what I mean? So like an example, I could plug this in to Chat GPT and say, hey, what's the consensus on ISM PMI data at 10 a.m. and it just gave me, let me see. It says the consensus forecast is 49.5, right? So my point is the consensus is going to vary as well. There's no right or wrong one, sir. You know. All right, so again, we're still bouncing at that level we talked about. I don't know what we're doing here. We got to just wait. 9 minutes left. Yeah, I understand what a consensus is. I guess it's hard to tell the context. To me, it sounds like you're correcting me when you say ISM consensus is 49.8. And my response to that correction is that you're correcting something that's varied. But maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm misinterpreting the context. I don't know. It's possible. So here's the bounce that we're getting exactly at that level we talked about here. Meta creeping up. Again, I don't know if I trust it enough for a long-term bounce, though. And I think we have to take the context of what NVIDIA is doing here as well. What are the two differences in the PMI report? One of them is ISM, which is the Institute of Supply Management. The other one is Global Manufacturing by, I think, Market Economics is the one that does the first one. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Or, yeah, the regular manufacturing might be a diffusion index. So they're looking at multiple different ones. One of the Institute of Supply Management typically has a little bit more weight, though, than some of the other ones. Yeah, I don't know if the market wants higher or lower manufacturing PMI. I really don't. I think it depends. I think either one of them could happen. And I think the market could respond positively or negatively to either one. All right, so here we go. We're breaking down here. We got ISM data coming out pretty soon here, guys, pretty soon. We got 6 minutes left, roughly. And again, I think with the tariff news, it's even more important today. With the tariff news is even more important because, yeah, manufacturing data is relevant in tariff news because it's manufacturing. It's what we're exporting from our country to other countries, and if other countries have retaliatory tariffs and levies on our exported goods, I mean, then today's manufacturing PMI report is relevant for sure. All right, guys. Also, we're trading on Top Step today. Top Step's funded account program. We've actually had a pretty good green day today. Again, just to give you some breakdowns here. On one account, we're down 130. Another account, we are up 340. And then another account, we're up 30 bucks basically. So we're net green on the day for sure. I'll take it. And if you want to check out, look at this support level hold too. So, and again, we made a video, guys, talking about my levels. And I'll put that video up in chat. I'll also put the link to Top Step up in the chat as well. So again, we made a video talking about my levels here. And you can kind of see, like, look at this. We drew this level. Look at the pullback to this level. Bounce right back up there to this level we drew. The reason we can find these levels, we talk about it in this video that we're posting in chat right now. There's the video. Also, if you want to check out Top Step, this is a funded account program where they give you a demo, test your skill with it. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one's only 49 bucks, so if you lose, it's not the end of the world. If you pass it, though, you get a 50K funded account with a 90% split, which is very similar to funding your own account. Just noticeably less risk. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Top Step's the most legit one in the world. They've paid out almost $200 million in the last 4 years. And on Top Step X, there's zero commission. And so you can check it out right here. If you want to check them out, there's the link in chat. Understand all these rules. Understand CFTC 4.41. Understand I do trade off stream. Sometimes you're not going to see all my trades. I am the worst trader of all time ever. Do not copy me. Definitely top 3 worst ever. If you copy me, you might lose. Not liable if you do lose. Always understand all this stuff, guys. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you want to check it out, there's the link. Yeah, the accounts I'm up on the day, yes, they're funded. How can S&P not be completely red when every single stock is very red? Well, on the day, sure. I'm talking about since the opening bell, though. Like when I say red or green, I'm talking about since the opening bell. Almost every tech stock is going to be red on the day because they're gapping down on tariff news. I don't know if there's any stocks that are not red on the day outside of, let's see what Meta closed at. outside of Meta. Meta's technically green on the day. And there's a few other ones that might be technically green on the day, but most are red. Even Apple, like, so Apple up here. Here's the previous close, way up here. And then Apple is way down here. That's Apple right there. So, yeah, most stuff's red. But we're talking about since the opening bell, mostly. All right, guys, we got manufacturing data coming out pretty soon here, chat, pretty soon. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. We will cover this as soon as it comes out. It's expected at 49.3 between that. I'm showing 49.3, anywhere between that really and 50 even is what I'm showing. And so, yeah, be ready. Look, we went up and tapped this level too. I like this level here. See if we bounce at this level now too. Look at my levels, guys. Honestly, just watching the price action. We go down to this support level, bounce, go up to this resistance level, pull back, go back to this level here, bounce. Again, watch that video. If you go to the videos tab on my channel, you can see it. I'm proud of that video, dude. Honestly, my support and resistance levels have been very nice, I think, recently. ISM data might affect the markets, but we'll see. You never know. Sometimes it's just an underwhelming nothing reaction. Sometimes it's a big reaction. You don't ever know. Right, sure. Finn, 100%. Can you talk like Cajun? Why? No, I'm good. Yeah. I'm not really Cajun per se. I mean, I've got Cajun family, but like I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which isn't like the Bayou per se. It's more of like city New Orleans style culture there. And so yeah, gold's been running up today on gold's been running up today on this. All right, guys, here we go. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. We'll see what ISM data shows. 20 seconds here, chat. All right, guys, 5 seconds. Let's do this. Good luck. And here's the release. All right, ISM manufacturing PMI data showed up at 50.9, stronger than expected. 50.9 versus 49.3 expected. Stronger than expected ISM manufacturing data. Stronger than expected. An increase in manufacturing than expected here. ISM prices showed much larger than expected as well at almost 55 at 54.9 versus 52.6 expected. Ultimately, universally here, we had a stronger manufacturing sector than expected. Construction spending came in month over month at 0.5% increase versus 0.3% as expected, or versus 0.3% expected. So basically, everything came in stronger for manufacturing than expected here, chat. Again, we showed up at 50.9 versus 49.3 expected. All right, so again, we'll put this data up in chat as well as on screen. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move. It's a little too early to see what the market liked or didn't like from this data. Sometimes the first move is wrong. We'll put it up on screen here as well. There's the data on screen now. You can see it. Is it good or bad? Well, it's not really either. It's just strength or weakness in manufacturing, which can be interpreted good or bad depending on the state of the economy. All right, so now market's testing that support level here. We asked people, are you bullish or bearish? At the opening bell, 63% says bearish. And look, here's some drops coming through. Look at this red action coming through here now. A lot of stuff's turning. Part of me wants to short this. Ah, I should have shorted. Look at that retracement back down as soon as I say that. How did the tariffs hurt Apple? Does Apple plan on selling products overseas or outside of the country? If they do, it's going to hurt them to a certain extent. The tariffs. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. I'm pretty green on the day in most accounts, so I'm just gonna go ahead and bow out for the day. Hey, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Palantir earnings this evening. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cover them or not. We'll see, but stick around. We'll see what happens. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Thanks so much for watching me today. Tomorrow we got the JOLTS report going live. JOLTS job report tomorrow at 10 a.m. That's a big report. It's not a small one. Wednesday, we got the non-farm employment change and services PMI data. Thursday, we got jobless claims. Friday, we got unemployment payroll data. A lot of stuff going on, guys. Tomorrow with the JOLTS report. Be ready for that. And, yeah, y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys then. Good luck. Love you all. Remember, guys, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. If you copy me, you might lose. And so don't copy me. Understand all these rules. And I love you all. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.